predominantly working only on Oracle related products. That's the high level about myself. So without taking much time, let's get into the topic. So what is that are we going to cover today? We'll talk on the high level about this Oracle HCM Cloud, the way Amit has mentioned as a part of your email. Hope I am audible for you all.
Yes, sir.
All right. So before getting into this topic, okay, let's talk about the journey, which we crossed. Yeah. So anything we do, we need to know the way we came across, okay, because that is something which will give us the, much more learning, so as to fine tune ourselves for the future. So that is what which we are trying to cover up as a part of this slide today. Okay. So first of all, what is this concept behind this ERP? What is ERP first of all? Assuming that I have a production unit, and when I wanted to kickstart something, yeah, I first of all what I require some manpower. I mean human resources, right? So the moment I say human resources, I need to have a system which will help me to hire any resources, and then I have to give them some assignments. Before that, I need a mechanism to capture the information about this. Okay. Then, having done that, I should know how to make a payment for this person. Okay. And then if somebody is putting the paper, I should know how to make him, clear exit from the door. Or somebody is going to retire, I should know. So this is about human resources. And I cannot keep them idle sitting at the office. So I have to procure some table, chair, etc. kind of thing. So I need to have a system which will help them to buy something. That is, my procurement has to get in. So tentatively, what is the procurement department makes? Okay, to purchase any article which is required for me, either for running my business, or it could be a capital, machinery or something like that. The moment I buy something, I should know how to keep them. Okay, I require an inventory to keep track of the products whatever I bought it. So I need to know how many I bought it, how many are in my inventory. I mean in my godown. Okay, how much I am releasing every day. Once the work is being over, how much I'm bringing back. Okay, so what is the balance as of today, every day? Okay, that is something which I need to know. I require a system to take care of my inventory. Okay, once the products are being finished, okay, I require a system to keep track of the finished product too. Someone should know how to sell the product. So I require a marketing team. Okay. So to do all these things, I require finance. So someone should take care of my inflow of my cash, I mean my bank balance, etc. And then I should know how do I take care of my bank balance, etc. So I require a finance department. So if you see that I may be making a small product, but I require this much of things which governs the entire production to happen. Okay. So these are all the independent system. For example like HR, procurement, inventory, etc. These are all to get connected each other. That is what is nothing but enterprise resource planning. If these things are independent, I will not know what I am buying. Okay, where is that I am using it? So that is the fundamental idea behind ERP. So ERP is nothing but enterprise resource planning. It's nothing but these small packages which are being introduced for me to get into for me to run my system in a sophisticated manner. Okay, that's about ERP. Let's talk about the next one. Two-tier architecture. What do you know about two-tier architecture? So once upon a time when this MS-DOS or the Windows are being introduced, okay, people are working only on one system, right? So they will have their own laptop, not laptop, at least one computer will be there and people will be working on it. While the guy who is sitting next to you who will be doing something and you will be doing something different. You guys will not talk each other. Same way your system will not talk each other. So what people said, okay, let us make something common, okay, and then make sure that these guys are talking to each other. Okay. For example, I have an apple and I wanted to give it to my folks to make some painting or something like that. To do that, if I give it to one person, he will do it in a different way. Okay. Same way, the other person would be doing in a different way, right? However, if I make this apple available as a part of the central system, okay, so people will be able to take out that in a be able to work out. Okay, so that is nothing but a server and a client concept. Hello, I see too much of disturbance in the line. You guys are okay?
Yeah, it's okay.
That is where the single, the client server concept was introduced. That is nothing but a two-tier architecture. When you say two-tier architecture, the disadvantage is that uh, as and when you increase the number of nodes, the performance will go down. For example, if I have a server and it is not connected with, let's say, 5 systems, then the load balancing will get maintained. People will be able to work in a proper way. However, if I introduce another 20 machines on top of that, the performance will go down. So to eradicate what they did, they have introduced something called smart client. Okay. What do you mean by this smart client? Assuming that I have my data which is lying in my server side, okay, and the front end form will get loaded from my own system, from my hard disk. So what will happen? The IO will get reduced. So all forms and all will get stored as a part of my system. Data will come from the server and person will be working on top of that. So the load is actually being divided between the server and the client by introducing a smart client in between. That is what is the smart client is. What is the disadvantage is that if I have to introduce 10 more guys as a part of my project, I need to make 10 more smart clients. I need to, install all my forms related things in 10 machines well in advance. Otherwise, it will not work. Fine. To eradicate that, the next version of the three-tier architecture was introduced. So like the way you have the data stored in the server side, you have forms and reports are got stored in another server. So once again, the data was centralized. Okay? Same way data was centralized, even the form reports are also got centralized. So with that, they were able to make another load balancing and the performance also they were able to make it in an appropriate manner. Okay? That is nothing but the three-tier architecture. Again, there is a limitation for the number of users, etc. People went for this wide area network. Finally, we all got into cloud. Okay, so before I talk about cloud, okay, do you have any questions so far? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, all good.
Pardon me?
Yeah, Natrajan, all good.
Okay, all good. Fine, thanks. What is cloud? The main advantage of cloud is that maintenance, it is going to be like a maintenance, first of all. You will not know where my forms, reports, and all, where is my data is. Okay. How do I connect it? Okay. what is the performance on the system? Okay, do I need to apply any patches? Am I using the latest version of the software? How do I maintain that during the downtime? How do I introduce my new versions into my system? So all these hassles will get eradicated when you are in cloud. So basically, cloud is nothing but you have a system which is being maintained and managed by someone else, okay? And you require a simple system with a browser adapted on top. That's all it is. So it is like growing your system into an internet. Though it is practical situation, it is not as simple as the way I articulated. However, in the raw manner, if you want to understand what is cloud, is that you have your own application which is stored somewhere else, and you are accessing them through internet. That's all it is. So, what is the main advantages? I don't have to worry. I don't have to worry about my front end. I don't have to worry about my performance. I don't have to apply any patches and all. I don't have to worry that am I using the latest one or something like that. In case of any downtime, how do I manage that? Most importantly, I don't require this much of people who are working as a part of my IT system. Clear? So that is nothing but a cloud. So let's move on the next topic. On the cloud, there are different ways of deployment we have. Okay. Number one is SaaS. What is SaaS? Software as an application. For example, Oracle products. For example, people will be working in HCM. I believe you guys all got trained in finance. Okay. Your finance module or supply chain management. These are all softwares, okay, which are being provided by excuse me, please. This cloud is being managed and maintained by different companies, okay, different I would say partners. Okay. As a market, the leader is Amazon. 73.5% of the cloud applications are being managed and maintained by Amazon. Then we have Google, okay. Then a lot of companies are there. On that, Oracle is also a part of one among few. Okay. However, these ERP related products are being fashioned and managed by Oracle. That is nothing but SaaS. Okay. So the application which you are working, human resources or finance, okay, these are all the part of SaaS application. Okay. Because these things are going to be common for many of the customers, because this is going to be a centralized application, public cloud, okay, in technical terms. You cannot make any changes on the way you used to do as a part of your R tool or something like that. The customization is something which is completely been ruled, except some very few exceptions, like you can add few one or two columns here and there, something like that. However, people used to make a separate screen, and then they will attach it as a part of the R tool application. They will get integrated. That will also work as a part. Some companies, they will buy Oracle product, they will convert. By the end of that, it will have its own, it will have a different shape altogether. Even the product provider will not know where is my product is. That much of customization people will do. Okay. So to safeguard and to satisfy them, Oracle has introduced something called PaaS system. That is nothing but the platform as an application. So here you can have your own table, your own applications, your own forms, reports, everything you can do off your own. So they come up with their own standards. You have to do the development based on the standards, and that will get integrated as a part of the SaaS application. Third, yes, infrastructure as an application. I don't require any of the software, something like that. Okay, I have my own application. I just wanted to deploy them as a part of your server. Finish. So you go with IaaS, and then complete it. That's it. Next, thus, data is an application. Data is a service. So for example, if you're working in big data, that kind of application where you have huge amount of data which got involved, and you want to take some inventory or you take your own methodology to make some prediction to understand the market, etc. and all, you may have to go with this DAS. Okay.
Natarajan, I have a question.
Yeah.
So, in DAS, what are technologies and tools do we use, and how do we work on that? I mean, like in IAS, PAS, SAS, we all know that we use, the application to connect to the database and all that stuff. So, in DAS, what are the tools and technologies we use?
Okay. No, what is the question? I'm not clear on that.
See, like when we work on SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS,
Mm-hmm.
we have one application to work with the database.
Yeah.
However, we have certain limitations and advantages of each one of them. Like in SaaS, we do not customize much. However, in PaaS and IaaS,
Yeah.
we can do the customization and other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So similarly, I mean, to work on DAX, what is the tool or technology do we use apart from the database?
Okay. Okay. See, DAS is primarily being used especially for big data kind of thing. Okay. This is nowhere connected with your SAS or PaaS or something like that. These are all separate. Okay. SAS and PaaS can get integrated. Okay. And yes is again, it's again altogether different. For example, if you are going for Oracle Cloud Financials, okay, you are going to buy only this SaaS model. Okay, that's it. Okay, you are not going to buy anything on the ES separately, because the data as well as the software, whatever is required for you to run your finance model, it's all will get bundled and that will be given as a package for you. Okay, so you will be given an access in a specific server, and your software will also get loaded as in the centralized system, and you will be given an access for it.
Okay.
If you wanted to run your own application, for example, your homegrown things kind of thing, and you don't have a big box like a big servers,
Yeah.
that case you require yeah. Again, the dash is also going to be useful. For example, you have 20 years of data, and you wanted to maintain this data in a specific place to do some, drill down report, or some, you wanted to make some market analysis, etc. That time you require this dash.
Okay.
These are all independent.
Got it.
Fantastic. Any other questions, please?
No,
Okay.
nothing from our side. Yeah. Go ahead.
Let's move on. Okay. Fine. Then, so these are all the, as I said, these are all the products. Okay, SaaS, PaaS, etc. Inside that you have different products and all. Okay. Who is the service provider? Service provider is the one who is going to do the implementation for this application. For example, you are buying Oracle, it's HCM, for example, or Oracle Financials. Okay. You require a service provider who should get into the ground to understand your requirement, okay, and configure this product based on your requirement. So he is nothing but your service provider. For example, Oracle itself has got its own consulting division, which is a service provider, or you can say Accenture, Capgemini, Wipro, Infosys, Pure Players, all are service providers. Okay. Next, subscription model. Let's talk something about subscription model. What is that you know about subscription model? Now, as I told you earlier, when you are running your own R tool application, okay, you require a database, and then you require your own server where you have stored all your software, hardware, software, data, etc. So what is that you require? You require human resources to manage this. You require plenty of data. Okay, DBAs. Okay. You require people who can make use of your application. Okay. You require resources who can maintain the reporter. For example, server is down, or some application is not working, or something is going down, something went wrong. Okay, while making your data entry, etc. You require resources. Okay. However, in the subscription model means you own nothing. Okay. How so? Based on the number of users you have, the company is going to make it charges for it. Okay. For example, you are buying Oracle Financials. Okay. And you are informing Oracle that I have 10 users, concurrent users who will be using the system at any point of time. Okay. So they will be charging per user is, let's say, $100 per day or $200 per day, something like that. They'll make a charge. And based on the charges, you need to pay the money to the product owner. I mean, in this case, it is going to be for Oracle. So this is nothing but the subscription model. Are you guys clear on this concept of subscription model?
Yeah, we are.
Okay, let's move on. Let's talk something about this on-premises and cloud. What is this on-premises application? The R12 or R11i, these are all on-premises. Any application which is not a part of the cloud is nothing but the on-premises application. In the sense, like, these are all being managed and maintained by your own folks. The server would be in your premises, or it could be in other premises, but it will be managed by your own folks. Fine. You have complete control on it. Okay. However, the moment you say cloud, okay, you don't know anything about the server or the application. Everything is in the internet. You have no connection at all. Only thing what you have is an internet with the browser you are going to connect with them. So that's a major difference between on-premises and cloud. Yes. Any questions, please?
No, we are good with that.
Okay. Now, the next topic is that why do we have to go for HCM? When you compare the features of the applications like R12 or even R11, day by day people are increasing or fine-tuning the usability of the process. The functionality has got changed, okay, based on the trend which is running in the market. Okay. For example, earlier people used to log in and then they will get into the system. They will, for example, you are applying for leave. They will log into the system. They will look into how many leaves you have. Okay. Then based on the availability of leave, people will approve that. Okay. Nowadays things got changed. Okay. One phone call will tell you what is how many leaves you have. Okay. Then next question is that so and so has got any deliverables on the next day. Okay. The next few days or something like that. System will tell you no. Okay. Then the manager can say that yes, go ahead and approve this. It all can be done through telephone, your mobile phone. You can talk to the system and then you can do that. That is called chat system. Okay. You don't have to log in into system because you are outside your place, for example, and your own resources are looking for an emergency leave. You don't have to log in. So the technology changes day by day. That is the concept which people are trying to introduce as a part of the application. The innovation comes as a part of your fusion. There are plenty of improvisation which are being made as a part of the cloud application. The environment wise, there is a big change. Okay. The offerings, for example, what are the different modules which HCM comes, or your finance comes, that also changes day by day. So that the managing this application will become easier day by day. The advantage and the benefits which you are getting by using this application, that is also being improved like anything. Last but not the least, let me talk about this coexistence. That is something new which you may not aware of. I am finding too much of background noise there. Hello?
Hi, Aral. Can you please go on mute? Ritesh, Naina, Shiv.
I'm already on mute, sir.
Ritesh and Naina, can you please go on mute?
Hmm. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, please go ahead, Natraj.
Okay. Yeah. Let's talk about this coexistence. Now, you have a customer who is in, for example, in R12, okay, who has got plenty of customization which are being made as a part of the system. Fine. Because the cloud is new to the market, or it is user friendly, or it is being fascinated by the customers, your company is also thinking of getting into cloud. However, they are very much worried how we can manage it. If you throw away all your hardware, software, etc., and if you go for cloud, if it doesn't work, what will you do? We need to buy all of them again. So that is going to be very, very expensive for you. So you want to do an experimental basis on which you wanted to try for it. Okay. So to do that, assuming that you have only finance alone, Oracle R12 finance alone. You wanted to do an experiment on HCM. So you already have PeopleSoft system which is running in your system. It is working perfectly right. You are happy, system is also happy, all are happy, but Oracle is not happy because they are pushing you to move into cloud. So what can it do? So you are coming back and say that, okay, let me try with an experimental basis. I will do a small portion of my system getting into cloud. That is what I can do that. If I am successful, I will try to move everything into cloud. However, if I am not successful, I will continue my application in the current systems. So that is how you make a dialogue with Oracle folks. They are also okay with that. Okay. So what do? You want to do your recruitment and onboarding as a part of the cloud. So your employee details would be there as a part of your people application. That will get loaded in the cloud also. Okay. So all necessary information, including your salary, etc., everything will be there as a part of your PeopleSoft application. The information which are very, very necessary, that will get loaded as a part of cloud. Okay. Only this recruitment and onboarding, you will do it through cloud. The rest all will be done as a part of your on-premises application. This is nothing but coexistence. So I don't have to go, or let's assume this way, talent management, and then talent management I wanted to do. Excuse me. So my appraisal system, my performance management, that will be there as a part of my cloud. All your employee information will be there as a part of PeopleSoft. The moment I say appraisal, system will connect you to the application which is already there in cloud. And then your data will be stored in cloud, which are relevant to your appraisal and performance alone. Rest all the information would be there as a part of your PeopleSoft application. So by doing this, your regular process will not get disturbed. Your regular activities will not get disturbed. Your company's process flow will not get disturbed. However, you will be doing only your talent management alone as a part of cloud. By virtue of doing this, you will come to know the plus and minus of getting into cloud or go or not to go. Decision can be made by doing this experiment. You don't have to invest more on this. That is where the coexistence concept comes into picture. This is something, a unique feature which is there as a part of the system. I would be happy if you guys are not clear. Let me try once again and explain this. Are you guys okay with this?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay. All right. Let's move on. So this is the overall picture about HCM. So it is being divided into 4 categories. One is workforce deployment, workforce development, compensation management, and the span business process. What do we have in workforce deployment? We have the core HR here, payroll, and then payroll interfaces. Hope you know that payroll runs based on different countries. So the localization play a big role in payroll. What do you mean by localization? When you are making a payment to your employees, you need to adhere the legal or legislation of the specific country. For example, you are making a payment in India, means you need to deduct the 10% or 20% or 30% income tax, which is required for you to deduct from the employee's salary, and that will get deposited as a part of the government organization. Okay. Or a minimum pay of this much has to be paid. Okay. Some countries, they will expect you to make a payment of 31 days a month, immaterial of whether it is, odd month or even month, doesn't matter. Some countries require that you have to make a payment on Sunday, not on Sunday is a working day for you. Okay. Or Friday and Saturday would be a holiday for you. So the work timing starts from Sunday to Thursday. Okay. Some companies, for example, Switzerland and all, it is a proposal that the government gave a proposal to their people that let's work only 3 days a week. However, payment will be made only for all the 5 days. So like that, you need to make your system to work based on the local rules and regulation. That is nothing but your localization and legislation. Okay. What is this payroll interface? You have only the core information of your employees. So you are very much worried to run the payroll, because every day people, not every day, at least once in a while, people make the changes on the payroll rules and regulation. For example, the slab is 2,50,000 for you for this year, for example, in India. Next year, if they say no, 5 lakhs is going to be a slab for you. Okay, no tax for people who are making anything less than 5 lakhs. Okay. Or they can say that the income tax slab will get changed. Instead of 10, 20%, 30%, you will be given 15%, 30%, 45%. You can come up with a slab like this. So to get rid of all these things, you wanted to outsource this payroll to a payroll provider. So to do that, you need to get your payroll information to a third-party payroll provider who will run the payroll on behalf of you, and they will make the payment. So then you have to have an outbound interface which is running from your system to third-party payroll. Once the payroll is being done, he will give you all the details about the payrolls that will come as an inbound for you. Okay. So hope you guys are clear on these 3 buckets. Workforce prediction. What do you mean by predictions? I am running an organization. I need to know how many resources are required for me to execute a project which I am forcing, let's say 2 months down the line, or the specific skills on which I have 10 guys today. However, the project which I need to execute 3 months down the line require 25 guys. Do I have that much of resources? How do I plan for it? Do I have to hire from the market, or can I train them internally? All such things I have to do to make it. That is nothing but your workforce prediction. Workforce management. The moment you say management, people need to know I have my own resources. How do I make use of them in an optimum way? Okay. Do I need to give them full-time assignment or part-time or one and a half times? All such things will be taken care as a part of my workforce management. Time and labor. This is a straightforward one. Hope you all would be having your own swiping, swipe out system as a part of your system. What time you come in, what time you go in. Though in IT industry, people don't monitor all these things. However, in production industries, these are all being governed in a very, very thorough manner. So they require what time you come in and what time you go. Or you spending this full of 8 hours as a part of your shop floor to make a production fund. Okay. Absent management. As you know very well that you are all eligible for, let's say, 15 days of earn leave or 10 days of medical leaves like that. How do we manage that? That is nothing but my absent management. So these things comes as a part of your workforce deployment. Okay. The moment organization, the employees are working with me, how do I make my development further? To do that, I require this talent management. That is my talent review, performance management, goal management, and then succession management. I believe people would be doing this appraisal system. Okay. Once upon a time with most of the companies, some companies, they stop doing it because they don't want to do, get into this unwanted cycle and then harass the resources. Okay. Instead, they monitor the resources continuously to give this kind of unwanted surprise by the end of the year. Okay. So there is something called goal management that will tell you this is the goal for you by the end of the year. Okay. So you need to finish these things, these kind of things before the end of this year. This contains, the goal contains two parts. One is your organization goal, another one is your personal goal. Okay. How do I manage? How do I measure my goals? That is nothing but my performance management. Okay. What is this succession management? Succession management is nothing but a replacement. I have a senior vice president today. Okay. If something goes wrong for him, or if he put his papers tomorrow, okay, how do I replace him? I cannot make another manager overnight. So I have to train a guy. Or if I'll have to make an progress in my organization, I need to develop my system. After 2 years, I wanted to give a promotion to this person, and the other person will take care of the position whatever this person was having now. So I'm grooming my resources. That comes as a part of my succession management. Okay. Third is compensation management. How do I manage my compensation for my employees? Okay. What is the basic pay? How do I manage it? How do I give an increment to them? What percentage I will give? Okay. Am I connecting this compensation based on their performance? The more you work or more you perform, more you will be compensated. So that link has to get established in order to make sure that your organization is so strong. Okay. Next, incentive compensation. Normally, this incentive compensation comes as a part of this sales cycle. I don't know whether you guys are aware of it or every salesperson will be given a target. They need to complete that sales target before the end of the year. However, A carrot would be shown to them. The moment you cross this, you would be given this much a percentage as a compensation. That comes as a part of your incentive compensation. Benefits. Benefit is nothing but, for example, I have my own medical plan, okay, or I have a plan which will help them to give 401k or something like that. So these things are being introduced to in the organization to make sure that my retention is very high in the organization. By virtue of doing this, I am reducing my attrition percentage. Have you heard about this attrition? Attrition means how many guys are resigning from your organization. That is nothing but your attrition. So the company's fitment will get measured based on the number of attrition in a year. The more attrition means the company is not doing well. Okay. Then total compensation statement that comes as a part of the other things. Next, fast formula. People have written a lot of stored procedures or sequels to statements, etc. However, for functional folks, okay, in order to meet them some specific goal, there is something called fast formula which has been introduced as a part of the HCM product. For example, the company can say that the bonus will be paid for employees who have worked 90 days in the organization or 180 days in the organization. Okay. Or bonus will be given only for people who are above this category, above this grade. So these calculations will be done using this fast formula. So the fast formula is nothing but a kind of what you can say, the programming language, but it is a user-friendly one. This is basically being developed only for the sake of functional folks. Okay. Then profile management. Hope you know how do you manage your profile. Then workforce directory management. You all would have seen something called the what you can say that the hierarchy of the organization. For example, the chairman and managing director is that, okay. Below him, we have this much of directors, okay, or senior directors, or we have senior, then directors are there. Senior managers are coming, will be working below him. So like that, there will be a hierarchy, and how do you manage it? That comes as a part of your workforce directory management. So the entire, so this is the entire structure comes as a part of your HCM. So you guys are clear on, at least you guys got some understanding on these things. Okay, these are all like a separate module. For example, time and labor is a separate module. In Fusion, we don't call this one as a module, we call this one as an offering. That's it. So time and labor is an offering, absence management is an offering, talent review is an offering, performance management is an offering, something like that. So this is what is the overall picture about HCM. Any questions on this, please?
No, we are good with that.
Okay. Sorry, this is wrong slide. I think, okay. Let's talk about this implementation of coexistence. I believe I spoke about this coexistence sometime before. Okay. This is a real example on how it works. Okay. For example, you have the PeopleSoft, JD, Edwards, or EBIS being implemented as a part of the system. You have people information, job, organization, compensation, and comes as a part of your core HR. Apart from that, you have profile and then compensation changes.
Hey, Natarajan, this is
Yeah.
Shiv. Hey,
Yeah.
so what I'm suggesting, I think today it's very good start, and
Yeah.
I would suggest if we split this whole session into two, because the first session, the first half looks very good,
Okay.
and now as we go into detail, so I would suggest if we do this next part of the session, maybe on Monday or next week. I think then people will be come up with some their preparation or study based on the topic that we already covered today. Because now you are going in detail, right? So
No, okay, I'm almost in the flag end of my presentation. Okay. So
okay,
probably if you want, okay, we can do that. Not a problem. That's not a bad idea. Probably the next few of the slides we can take it up on Monday. Then.
Yes,
okay,
probably that would be good.
Okay. All right. So far, whatever has covered, hope you guys are okay on it, right?
yes,
Okay. All right. So Amit, you plan for it, and then let me know the timings and then schedule details so that we
sure,
can probably on Monday. Okay.
Sure,
sure.
will do. Yeah.
Fine, guys. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you
you,
all.
Thanks, Natarajan and all for joining.
Thank you, sir.
thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.